today with Lieutenant Colonel Michael Russell, Chief Department of Psychology at Darnall Hospital, to talk about traumatic brain injury. Sir, will you please tell us about TBI?
Traumatic brain injury is a huge and underdiagnosed problem. Okay, the brain is actually a very fragile instrument. A living brain is about the consistency of Jell-O. It was never in the design specs of the human brain that you would be traveling in a car at 60, 70 miles an hour and run into a tree. And what happens is the brain will actually slosh around inside the skull, and it has a limited tolerance for being able to be flexed like that.
How big of a problem is TBI?
Approximately 10% of the population has suffered a mild TBI, okay? And that is just, mild loss of consciousness, which is going to have minimal impairment, okay? Going on to that, it's as high as 1 to 2% of the population suffer a moderate to severe TBI, which is causing more significant problems. There's a period of time that can be 6 months long after the point you have a TBI where you're in a period called a post-concussive syndrome, all right? And that post-concussive syndrome can produce changes in personality. You can be more impulsive. You can be more irritable. You maybe don't make the best of decisions.
Can its effects be measured?
We can precisely measure human brain and human brain impairment. Every part of the brain does something, interprets visual stimuli, makes sense of the world, stores memories, makes plans for the future. And if you damage any part, you're going to miss it. But the brain's not a unitary thing that, okay, well, I lost 10% of my brain, I have 90% left. You get specific damage in specific areas that cause specific effects. So we can start off with simple things like strength, like speed of motor function. So, I always start off with like a grip strength measure and just measure how strong a person is. If they've suffered any damage to the motor strip of the brain, they might show some weakness on that affected side. And we can really do very well with service members figuring out what their IQ was supposed to have been prior to an injury because they've all taken the GT test. We know what a person was before the injury. We give them a test now and we see if there's any change in that. Measure their memory, measure their motor functions, measure their frontal functions with some complex sorts of problem-solving tasks.
And if someone thinks they may have TBI, where should they go for more information?
Department of Psychology here at Fort Hood is point of contact for that, and that's through Darnall. But there is a national organization which has been set up, which is a multi-center defense and veterans head injury program, and they have a 1-800 number if a person has suffered a loss of consciousness and is now having cognitive problems they didn't have before. They really should come in and have a screen. Call the 800 number, talk to somebody, they'll interview you.
Thank you, Colonel Russell. For Population Health Beat, I'm Sherry Steiner.